problem. Here is our second night on Ashigan Lake, and we've got a campfire going. We're not thwarted, pun intended, by rain as we were last night. Supposed to be very rainy tomorrow, 1.5 inches maybe. So we're hoping it doesn't ruin our plans and keep us in a tent all day long. You see that fire grate, the black fire grate, is a U.S. Forest Service piece of equipment that they supply at every campsite on the U.S. side of the boundary waters camping area, or canoeing area, sorry. The wood that I put on top there is just to dry it out for future use. This campsite has a pretty neat rock ledge, like we showed yesterday. We've got to go down to the water and come up here, probably 20 feet or more.
How was our fishing day?
Our fishing day was slow at first. Here, we're handing over here. Our fishing day was slow at first, but then we decided to go, I think it's east on the lake towards the island. And I suggested to Mr. Holberg, the camera holder right now, that he cast his lure out and start trolling. Well, it wasn't but for about a minute, and he hooked into this giant pike, and it was a real rod bender. And it probably took 5 minutes to get that pike to the boat. And that pike was not very happy and he wasn't hooked very well.
How come the screen went blank?
You can just hit it. It tries to save power.
Okay.
All right. The pike, he wasn't very happy at the side of the boat, and he was wailing away and flipping, and he wasn't hooked very well. So when we tried to get him into the boat, he got off and got away for another day. So it was a pretty good area, and we decided to. We drift a little bit further on the other side of the island, right? And this was already on the other side of the island.
We already got to the other side.
And so we drifted all the way a ways away to catch our bearings, and then we went back. And when we went back, I caught the pike's brother.
That's right.
That's right. So the one I caught was 24 inches long. And delicious, by the way. We had him for dinner tonight. Right? The one that Doug caught almost got into the boat. That one was huge. I'll bet you that one was an easy 40 plus inches. He was big and wide. But soon thereafter, we carried on, and then Mr. Holberg hooked into his own pike, and we got it into the boat. And he was also delicious. Right. To even be enjoyed in a few days from now.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to explain the opportunity that dry ice presents, Mr. Holberg?
Yeah, so Mr. Piasecki had this great idea that we should get some dry ice to bring on the trip. One thing, we could freeze our steaks that we ate last night and keep our other food that was perishable cold. One thing that we didn't realize that dry ice would afford us is we could refreeze food that we didn't eat and save it for another day. So yesterday we had steaks. They were huge. They must have been 40 ounces apiece. I may be exaggerating.
A cowboy steak.
And so we each ate half and put the other half back in the freezer with the dry ice.
They were 1 pound steaks, by the way.
Yeah, and so we will have them tomorrow morning. We were gonna have grits and bacon, but now we're gonna have grits and steak, and it will be good. And so we couldn't eat all that fish. It was a lot of fish, and so we fried it all up. and
That's the fish we caught today.
fish we caught
Yeah,
today. We fried it up, and what we didn't eat, we wrapped in foil, and it is probably frozen by now with that dry ice, which is like minus 40 degrees C, as I recall. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have dry ice on all of my future trips to the Boundary Waters.
I'll have to hide my little baggies. Yeah, and it's amazing. The dry ice is so cold that we have two.
How cold is it?
Minus 40, right? Right. We have two ice bags that are sort of like the HE or grocery store HEB ice bags that the Susan brings back and forth when she buys ice cream and things. So I absconded them and had Mr. Holberg retrofit with that foil. What is that, the name? Reflectix, which is what is probably adding to the duration of the dry ice. By the way, we took 25 pounds of dry ice on Monday from Bruce's at about 12 o'clock, probably, right? 12 p.m. Okay, and there's still plenty of it there, and it is so cold that it keeps the perishables, so salad and
it freezes the damn thing to the ground.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it keeps the adjacent bag, the other bag with perishables in it, like lettuce and cauliflower and broccoli. This is a glamping campaign. Okay, it keeps that other bag cold, even though the dry ice isn't in that bag, which is amazing. And there is another benefit of the dry ice in terms of keeping things so they don't get rancid for after a day, right? Yeah. And things that we're going to discard anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it for our fireside chat here on Tuesday, September.
It'd be September 11th.
Wednesday, September 11th, right?
It's Wednesday,
September 11th. Okay. And here at about probably 7:30-ish.
It's 7:01.
7:01. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.